I'd like to welcome you all to our travel edition of our lunch club, where every Wednesday we take a trip to a different destination or set of destinations. So this week and this month, actually, we're doing the Voices of West Africa, but for this week, we'll be taking a look at Burkina Faso. Looking forward to our session together. We'll be looking at the different land, people, and culture, history and politics, economy, challenges, and future outlook of the country, and do an overview. So just looking at overall the information that we learned in our session today. So first up, we have one of our favorite creators here. So looking at a super quick history of Burkina Faso. Hope you all enjoy.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Mr. This is Africa, and here is Burkina Faso. Now let's have a quick look around, shall we? Inhabited long, long ago, the earliest known peoples to make the land their home were the Bobo, Lobi, and Gurunzi, who still live here as minorities. For Burkina Faso is a nation of minorities. The most numerous ethnic group is the Mossi, who arrived on horseback around the 15th century, and whose kingdoms dominated the land for centuries, the most powerful of which was Ouagadougou, which has since become the country's capital. The Mossi are known for their incredibly tall masks, which they don in ancestor-reverencing rituals, and in the past the Mossi fended off incursions by the larger Songhai Empire. But they could not fend off the French, who by the early 1900s had already taken all of this, so there wasn't really any stopping them. The land became France's Upper Volta colony in 1919. French was taught in schools, and infrastructure was modernized. Here we see the strange sight of traditional African huts arranged in a city grid pattern. But anti-colonial sentiment surged post-Second World War, and the country, still called Upper Volta, became independent in 1960. The first president became a dictator who was overthrown by a guy who was overthrown by a guy who was overthrown by a guy who was overthrown by this guy who was overthrown by this guy, who was in power till 2014 and did not really do any good, as Burkina Faso was still among the poorest nations on earth. He resigned and fled after mass protests, and in 2015 this guy was elected president, breaking a long line of military coups, hopefully for good, but who can say? This country's troubles are far from over. Hunger, economic instability, widespread illiteracy, and corruption in a country whose name ironically means land of incorruptible people. On the bright side, things can only get better for Burkina Faso, and let's hope they do, soon. But as for me, it's bye for now. Bye-bye!
I'm going to play this one more time at regular speed since we have Lou joining us. So I hope you all enjoy once again at regular speed.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Mr. This is Africa, and here is Burkina Faso. Now let's have a quick look around, shall we? Inhabited long, long ago, the earliest known peoples to make the land their home were the Bobo, Lobi, and Gurunzi, who still live here as minorities. For Burkina Faso is a nation of minorities. The most numerous ethnic group is the Mossi, who arrived on horseback around the 15th century, and whose kingdoms dominated the land for centuries, the most powerful of which was Ouagadougou, which has since become the country's capital. The Mossi are known for their incredibly tall masks, which they don in ancestor-reverencing rituals, and in the past the Mossi fended off incursions by the larger Songhai Empire. But they could not fend off the French, who by the early 1900s had already taken all of this, so there wasn't really any stopping them. The land became France's Upper Volta colony in 1919. French was taught in schools, and infrastructure was modernized. Here we see the strange sight of traditional African huts arranged in a city grid pattern. But anti-colonial sentiment surged post-Second World War, and the country, still called Upper Volta, became independent in 1960. The first president became became a dictator who was overthrown by a guy who was overthrown by a guy who was overthrown by a guy who was overthrown by this guy who was overthrown by this guy who was in power till 2014 and did not really do any good, as Burkina Faso was still among the poorest nations on earth. He resigned and fled after mass protests, and in 2015 this guy was elected president, breaking a long line of military coups, hopefully for good, but who can say? This country's troubles are far from over. Hunger, economic instability, widespread illiteracy and corruption in a country whose name ironically means land of incorruptible people. On the bright side, things can only get better for Burkina Faso, and let's hope they do, soon. But as for me, it's bye for now. Bye-bye!
Can hope you guys enjoyed and learned something new. Hi, Lou. Hi, Pamphil. How are you doing today?
Hey, Alex. Hey, everybody. Sorry we're late. I got back from Virginia on a big laptop pickup.
Yeah, it's okay, Lou. What did you and Pamphil think of the video?
I liked it. There's Pamphil back there. Pamphil, what did you think of that video? Yeah. Well, one thing I know, I think Upper Volta was named after the Volta River, right? It's Pamphil, isn't it the river, the Volta River? Yeah, it's named after the Volta River. That's about all I know. Looks like a lot of poverty, though.
Thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else would like to share any initial thoughts?
Yeah, Greer Massey has the same name as the country. Some of the people, Massey, Massey.
Yep, the Mazi people in the beginning. But remember last week we talked about Togo, y'all, and then the French. Well, that's the whole picture right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember the name Upper Volta. I remember that that name.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember that's a lot of land the French had, isn't it? That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be a theme for this month as well.
Yeah.
And kind of what happened afterward, it's sad. It was dictator after dictator after dictator. That's, that's definitely something to think about.
Yeah. All right, well, let's learn a little about the land, the people, and the culture. Take it away, Alex.
This is Burkina Faso. Welcome to Open Tierra. Today, we're diving into the wonders of Burkina Faso. Did you know this country boasts over 60 ethnic groups, each contributing to its vibrant cultural mosaic? This diversity shapes everything from traditions to artistic expressions. But here's a tantalizing tidbit. There's a fascinating historical figure whose legacy still resonates today. Join us and stay to the end to uncover this intriguing piece of Burkina Faso's past. Burkina Faso can be divided into three main land zones. The southwestern parts are more forested and fertile farming areas. The central plateau is covered by savanna and brush. And the northern Sahel area is dry, arid desert. The country also contains a few wildlife reserves, like the Ali and Singo reserves. While not located near the coast, Burkina Faso has two primary river networks running through its terrain. These are the Red Volta and White Volta rivers, which converge and ultimately flow into the famous Volta River in Ghana. And there are a few small lakes like Dingrila and Bam lakes scattered about. The capital city is Ouagadougou, centrally located and populated by over 2 million diverse inhabitants. Bobo Dioulasso, Burkina's second city in the west, is known for its cultural landmarks and crafts. Koudougou in central Burkina Faso is an important economic hub. The early history of Burkina Faso was characterized by a series of powerful kingdoms rising to prominence in the region. These included kingdoms like Ouagadougou and the Mossi kingdoms, which came to dominate the central and western areas of what is now Burkina Faso. These kingdoms gained wealth via trans-Saharan trade and operated for centuries, with the Mossi kingdoms holding regional power well into the 1800s before being taken over by outside forces. In the late 19th century, French forces moved into the territories making up modern Burkina Faso, and by 1896 had established their rule as a French colony, originally named Upper Volta. The area was administered as part of French West Africa. The French colonial government often relied on forced labor to build infrastructure. This caused some resentment among the local population. In some cases, local groups rebelled against French control, but these were usually put down by better armed French forces. The colonial era lasted for over half a century, until 1958. After World War II, France began granting more autonomy to colonies in West Africa. Finally, on August 5, 1960, Upper Volta gained full independence from France. Early leaders had mixed records running the government from the 1960s through the early 1980s. Rule was marked by unrest, charges of corruption, and periodic military coup d'état, toppling one leadership figure for another. In 1983, a remarkable new leader named Thomas Sankara took power in a populist coup. Sankara adopted radical left-wing policies and sought to reduce government corruption and international aid. He was a revolutionary figure who developed a strong grassroots following. He changed the name to Burkina Faso, which means Land of the Honest Men. Sadly, Sankara's time in power was cut short when he was killed in a coup d'état, led by one of his former colleagues, Blaise Compaoré. But Sankara remains a cultural icon for his revolutionary vision and continues to have symbolic influence in Burkina Faso today. Hope you enjoyed this very brief history of the Land of Honest Men. Let me know in the comments what other aspects of this country. About 22 million as of 2022 estimates. There are actually over 60 different ethnic groups among the diversity of Burkinabe people. The Mossi ethnic group accounts for almost half the population, making them the predominant ethnic identity. Other major groups include the Fula, Gourmantche, Bobo, and Senufo ethnicities. When it comes to religion, around 60% of Burkina Faso practices Islam, primarily in large cities. About 25% follow indigenous animist religions, common to many African cultures. And 15% identify as Roman Catholic Christians, more centered in rural small villages and towns. While French is used officially in schools, trade, and by the government, almost 90 native dialects are still spoken by the Burkinabe. Mossi, Fula, and Dioula are widely used African languages. But in remote towns, indigenous tongues and local dialects persist in cultural traditions. Agriculture employs around 80% of Burkina Faso's workforce, making it the largest sector of the economy. Cotton is the most important cash crop, and food crops like sorghum, millet, maize, peanuts and rice are also grown. Livestock raising is another key agricultural activity. Gold exports have grown in recent years too, with mining now making up a significant portion of exports. Probably the biggest barrier blocking further economic development is poor infrastructure. Burkina Faso is landlocked and accessibility is limited by inadequate roads, railways and communications networks. Only about a fifth of roads are actually paved. This makes transporting goods difficult and limits connectivity between rural towns and cities. Burkinabe cuisine is a delightful blend of traditional African ingredients and cooking techniques that have been passed down through generations. At the heart of Burkina Faso's cuisine are staples like millet, sorghum, maize, and peanuts. These ingredients form the base of many dishes, reflecting the country's agricultural richness. The markets here are a vibrant hub of activity, offering a dazzling array of spices, fresh fruits and vegetables that play a crucial role in Burkinabe cooking. One of Burkina Faso's signature dishes is riz gras, a flavorful rice dish cooked with tomatoes, onions, and a variety of spices, often served with meat or fish. It's a true reflection of the country's culinary heritage. Mealtime in Burkina Faso is a cherished tradition, often bringing families and communities together. Sharing a meal is not just about food, it's a celebration of culture and togetherness. From poulet bicyclette, a chicken dish cooked with local herbs and spices, to fufu, a starchy side dish, Burkina Faso offers a diverse range of flavors and textures. Street food culture is vibrant here, with brochettes being a popular choice. These skewered meats, often marinated and grilled over open flames, are a delicious and convenient snack enjoyed by locals and visitors alike. Food is deeply intertwined with Burkina Faso's cultural festivities and rituals. Whether it's a wedding, a festival, or a religious ceremony, traditional dishes take center stage, adding flavor to the celebrations. This West African country is home to over 60 ethnic groups, including the Mossi, Bobo, Senufo, Lobi, and Fulani. Each group has their own distinct artistic traditions that they infuse into masks, bronze castings, woodwork, and woven goods. Let's start with the iconic Burkinabe mask, ceremonies and dances. These are performed for important social events, funerals, or just bringing the community together. Masks signify spirits and different characters. During masquerade dances and rituals, performers wear masks and costumes while dancing to pulsating drums and balafon, a wooden xylophone instrument. The ceremonies tell stories passed down through generations and offer moral lessons. Beyond masks, craftwork in Burkina Faso uses local natural materials beautifully. Famed bronze casting was developed by the Bibua, Bogra, Mossi, and Leila people. Casters use the lost wax method to handcraft figurines, statues, and functional items. Wood carving is also admired for its intricate details, showcasing animals and cultural symbols seen in furniture, statuettes, and utensils. And woven fibers from plants are made into vibrantly patterned blankets, mats, baskets, and clothing, representing nature and geometry. I hope you enjoyed this glimpse into the captivating community-centered world of Burkinabe ceremonial dances and craftwork.
So amazing. Any thoughts from the group?
Those
Any
those cultural dances were really intense. I mean, that's sort of scary, to be honest with you, some of the costumes they had on, but really interesting. Some of those costumes were just wild.
He said only 5% of the roads are paved. That was very interesting. But look at them, learning French and math.
That chicken dish with rice, that seems to be pretty prevalent all over Africa. Pamphile, do you have chicken and rice in Benin?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. We do have like this chicken and rice is kind of common to all the West African countries.
East Africa too, but they throw some tomato sauce in there and some spice. That's a little different.
And the fofo too. The fofo is all over too.
Oh, look, this looks like corn right here in this image. They talked about the festivals or festivities for food.
Oh my, are there people in there? Isn't that wild?
Whether it's a weddings and visitors alike, Burkina Faso's cultural festivities and rituals.
That is so wild.
Wow.
I mean, that's the culture. I mean, as you saw, there was they said 60 different ethnic groups in Burkina Faso. I mean, there's culture everywhere you go.
Pamphile, do you have costumes? These like really very flamboyant costumes in Benin?
Yeah, definitely.
they're a little scary for someone who hasn't seen it before.
Yeah, it does. But
I'm not scared. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's just so unusual.
Well, I mean, doesn't mean it's scary. It's just different. Yeah, yeah.
Look at those costumes. I
Yeah.
mean,
Mm-hmm. So
I mean
more culture.
that's pretty intense. Whoa.
Yeah, Puni Mask Festival. Let's see what this has to offer. This is very I think these are recent.
Must get pretty hot.
Une commune située à une vingtaine de kilomètres de Poul.
Bien, merci. Voilà, c'est un masque qui symbolise l'union familiale. Voilà, donc, vous votez au côté de cette année, vous pouvez nous faire 4 ans. Moi, je vais organiser ce groupe pour la nation. On ça. Applaudissez très fort. Appréciez la démonstration. Une belle démonstration. Bien toujours le combat. Amadia Pokwana. Amadia Pokwana. Bah. Vraiment. Et la prestation. Merci. Applaudissez pour ces masseurs qui montrent. À tous ceux qui font.
That's amazing, right? Look at all these people. This the Puni Mask Festival is where locals dress in elaborate costumes representing animal-like creatures. It's part of a larger celebration called Festi Mask, which unites communities and reconnects younger generations with their ancient traditions. The masks are traditionally carved by men and often depict idealized female ancestors, symbolizing wisdom, beauty, and spiritual purity. What an interesting festival.
Yeah, that's incredible, isn't it?
That's a hell of a Soul Train line, I'm telling you. Them people can dance. Look at them.
Yeah.
You saw them all, and all of them were in sync. with the five right here. I mean, that was pretty amazing. There are, you know, this is a tradition that's been passed down for, a long, long time.
Wow.
Isn't it wonderful how they've kept they haven't lost their culture, and they're relatively close, easy access to Europe and US, but their culture didn't get overrun.
No, this was last year's festival in Burkina Faso. This was from 2024. How amazing, right? So here's another, that was one source also said it kind of celebrates the end of March, but look how they celebrate Lunar New Year. Let's take a look with the Djambele Festival.
In the heart of Burkina Faso's cultural capital, Bobo Dioulasso, the Bobo people and people from surrounding villages gathered to celebrate a special occasion. Known as Njombele, the Lunar New Year festival draws participants from the cities and countryside, reflecting unity, identity, and a sense of cultural renewal.
At home here, everyone gets together for a community meal in a spirit of unity and solidarity. After that, there's the big carnival called Guru in the Bobo language, where young people go out from 10 p.m. until dawn, and it's a great celebration.
Women play a central role during the festival, from preparing meals to leading songs and dances. Young girls dressed in intricate hairstyles, garlands and hip adornments perform throughout the week, showcasing beauty, rhythm and tradition.
It's a time for women, especially young girls, to put on their best finery, and it's an opportunity for young boys to find the girl they want to marry.
The roots of the festival can be traced back to an 18th century victory by the Molo Kingdom. Today, it remains an annual tradition of the Bobo Dioula people, especially in the historic Diolosoba district, attracting even those who are just discovering their ancestral culture.
I think it's a wonderful celebration. It's a part of my mother's culture that I've just discovered. Personally, I'm making a film about it with my little sister, and I've come tonight to check it out and to celebrate the people of Diolosoba.
Despite its popularity in the region, the festival still lacks national recognition. Community leaders are calling for its official inclusion in Burkina Faso's cultural calendar. Celebrated 40 days after Tabaski, the cults of the dead, the Bobo Lunar Year welcomes not only a new beginning, but also reaffirmation of identity, community and cultural continuity. Sharon Baranga, CGTN.
What do you all think of these hairstyles? Aren't they amazing? And all the pieces and the fabric, and
It must be heavy.
Beautiful.
Right? Oh my goodness, heavy. For young girls, isn't that nice? To celebrate, girlhood and womanhood.
Wow.
I mean, look at the clothes. I mean, they were gorgeous in Togo, and I mean, how can they make like this design right here? Like, that's amazing. You see it? Everyone's pretty colorful, so it looks nice. I mean, with all the different cultures, and communities.
Alex, I think a lot of the textile industry in Africa comes from that region, like Nigeria, and is that right, Penfield?
Yeah.
There's a lot of textile industry. They ship all over Africa, right?
Nigeria, Ghana, Benin, and Burkina Faso.
So because of the cotton, right? Probably. So they not only grow cotton, but they also do all the textile work.
They also transfer
And the dyes from the plants and everything.
Yeah. In East Africa, I asked people where they get their clothes. A lot of them say they buy it from like Nigeria and Ghana, up in that area.
In the heart of Burkina Faso.
Remember they mentioned Sankara during one of the videos?
Yes, yes.
So, and how he's even a figure, like how do they say his influence is still, in Burkina Faso. So let's look at a quick story of his life.
How long was his term? They said it was cut short.
Yeah, it was very short. So we're gonna take a look at it in this video. While revolutionaries as individuals can be murdered, you cannot kill ideas. He said it himself. That's a very true statement, isn't it?
In 1972, Thomas Sankara was swept into a revolution for a country not his own. Hailing from the West African nation of Burkina Faso, then known as Upper Volta, the 22-year-old soldier had traveled to Madagascar to study at their military academy. But upon arriving, he found a nation in conflict. Local revolutionaries sought to wrest control of Madagascar from France's lingering colonial rule. These protesters inspired Sankara to read works by socialist leaders like Karl Marx and seek wisdom from military strategy. When he returned to Upper Volta in 1973, Sankara was determined to free his country from its colonial legacy. Born in 1949, Sankara was raised in a relatively privileged household as the third of 10 children. His parents wanted him to be a priest, but like many of his peers, Sankara saw the military as the perfect institution to rid Upper Volta of corruption. After returning from Madagascar, he became famous for his charisma and transparent oratorial style, but he was less popular with the reigning government. Led by President Jean-Baptiste Ouédraogo, this administration came to power in the third consecutive coup d'etat in Upper Volta's recent history. The administration's policies were a far cry from the sweeping changes Sankara proposed, but by 1981, Sankara's popularity won out, earning him a role in Ouédraogo's government. Nicknamed Africa's Che Guevara, Sankara rapidly rose through the ranks, and within 2 years, he was appointed prime minister. In his new role, he delivered rallying speeches to impoverished communities, women, and young people. He even tried to persuade other governments to form alliances based on their shared colonial legacy. But Ouédraogo and his advisors felt threatened by Sankara's new position. They thought his communist beliefs would harm alliances with capitalist countries. And just months after becoming prime minister, Ouédraogo's administration forced Sankara from the job and placed him on house arrest. Little did the president know, this act would fuel Upper Volta's fourth coup d'etat in 17 years. Civilian protest ensued around the capital, and the government ground to a halt, while Sankara tried to negotiate a peaceful transition. During this time, Blaise Compaoré, Sankara's friend and fellow former soldier, foiled another coup that included an attempt on Sankara's life. Eventually, Ouédraogo resigned without further violence, and on August 4, 1983, Thomas Sankara became the new president of Upper Volta. Finally in charge, Sankara launched an ambitious program for social and economic change. As one of his first agenda items, he renamed the country from its French colonial title, Upper Volta, to Burkina Faso, which translates to Land of Upright Men. Over the next 4 years, he established a nationwide literacy campaign, ordered the planting of over 10 million trees, and composed a new national anthem, all while cutting down inflated government employee salaries. But perhaps the most unique element of Sankara's revolution was his dedication to gender equality. He cultivated a movement for women's liberation, outlawing forced marriages, polygamy, and genital mutilation. He was the first African leader to appoint women to key political positions and actively recruit them to the military. However, Sankara's socialist policies were met with much resistance. Many students and elites believed his economic plans would alienate Burkina Faso from its capitalist peers. His crackdown on the misuse of public funds turned government officials against him as well. After 4 years, what began as an empowering revolution had isolated many influential Burkinabe, but Sankara was not ready to yield his power. He executed increasingly authoritarian actions, including banning trade unions and the free press. Eventually, his autocratic tendencies turned even his closest friends against him. On October 15th, 1987, Sankara was conducting a meeting when a group of assailants swarmed his headquarters. Sankara was assassinated in the attack, and many believe the raid was ordered by his friend, Blaise Compaoré. Though his legacy is complicated, many of Sankara's policies have proven themselves to be ahead of their time. In the past decade, Burkinabe youth have celebrated Sankara's political philosophy, and nearby countries like Ghana have even adopted Sankara's economic models. On March 2nd, 2019, a statue of Sankara was erected in Burkina Faso's capital, establishing his place as an icon of revolution for his country and throughout the world. Not all revolutionaries are politicians or soldiers. For an inspiring tale of secret student...
Isn't it so amazing how one person can affect history?
Mm-hmm.
Gender equality. I mean, you know, talking to young folks and women and you know, not one person is perfect. No one is perfect. But the good things that he did was definitely revolutionary. I mean, he named the country. I mean, it wouldn't be Burkina Faso today without him. Any thoughts from you all on the video?
It's very sad of how he was cut down. It's very sad. But authoritarian policies are not popular anywhere, usually. Sometimes they do succeed, but authoritarianism is often dreaded. And that's why people are here in the streets of our country protesting what appears to be an authoritarian, philosophy that seems to be dominating. But he did some good things. It's unfortunate that he was cut down like that.
Yeah. When you have people against you in that manner, it can be hard to continue. Or, he could have stepped down, but he decided not to for, what he believed in. So
yes.
I was taken by how in some ways similar he is to some of the other folks that we've learned about in this program, like Evo Morales in Bolivia. And who is that leader in Venezuela? Not the current one, but one or two back. It's sort of that same kind of philosophy of really getting behind the people. Even in Tanzania, we had a guy named he was called the bulldozer, same kind of thing. And I think one of the things they all had in common was rejecting foreign aid and really trying to empower the people.
Wow.
yeah. Wow. Yeah. I'm glad they put up that statue. Our history has been 42 years since he was the president, or however they said it, since he was at the top. It's been 42 years. It said 1983. Like that's we are living in history, even though we were talking about what happened in the past, but their influence is still here today.
I like that he was for gender equality. He had women in the military. That was before his time. Yeah.
One other thought was, his minions or whatever were worried that he was threatening the capitalist regimes, and it got me thinking about a special I saw on TV last week about people who are organ donors and they're like prematurely having their organs harvested even though they're still alive. Are you kidding me? In America? And that sort of really highlights to the absolute ultimate extreme the power of money, because the people who are harvesting organs made money doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a organ donation group, and they talked about that. It's very, very illegal to do that, of course, for money. No,
I
so
hope so.
yeah,
No, Alex. These people were alive. I'm
Yes.
talking about killing people.
Yes.
oh yeah, well that too. It's where it's very sad. We're not going to go there, but it's
What
his ideas were definitely very
what I'm trying to get to, those never underestimate the power of the money of making money and the impact that has.
oh
And it's
yeah.
interesting his minions pointed that out to him, that if you start threatening the powers like that, you're going to get in trouble. And
Yeah.
it just reminded me of that show I saw on TV last week.
Yeah, he said that he cut down the salary of those government employees,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
which was, I'm not going to say good or bad because I don't have the whole picture, but that, money is definitely the reason for a lot of things that occur. So when that was lowered, they definitely felt some kind of way. So, we learn a lot through our programs. Even just one thing, we learn a lot together. um, this video here is a little bit kind of what we talked about already, but maybe it would bring some a new spin on it. So why the name Burkina Faso? We've seen land of upright men, but then we saw the land of
Nearly every country on earth is named after one of four things: a directional description of the country like South Africa or the Central African Republic, an undeniable feature of the land like Iceland, a tribe name like Italy from the Vitali tribe, France from the Franks, and Vietnam from the Viet people, and finally, an important person like Colombia was named after Christopher Columbus, and Mozambique was named after Musa bin Biki. So when you think of a country whose name is so peculiar like the one in our series today, you can't help but wonder, how did it get its name? This is Burkina Faso. So is this, so is this, and so is this. You get the point, right? Burkina Faso is a diverse place, a mid-sized landlocked West African country of roughly 20 million people, with arguably the world's best country names and an even more interesting name for its capital city known as Ouagadougou. After the partition of Africa, the kingdoms in the region of present-day Burkina Faso were invaded and carved up by French colonies, becoming a French protectorate in 1896 and named Haute Volta, translated to French Upper Volta. The name was given as an indicator or geographic pointer along the upper reaches of the Volta River flowing in the area, but had no real attachment to the people whom the French referred to as the Voltaics. The river has three tributaries crossing through the area: the Black Volta or Mohun, the White Volta, Nakambe, and the Red Volta, Nazinon, all of which converged in Ghana to the south to form the Volta River. It's interesting that Ghana was never referred to as Lower Volta, even though it's located to the direct south of what was then Upper Volta. Anyway, the three tributaries were expressed in the three colors of Burkina Faso's former flag. In 1919, French Upper Volta was split up to bolster its administration for economic reasons and joined to certain provinces from Ivory Coast, which were united into the French West Africa Federation, which was a federation of 8 French colonial territories comprising of Mauritania, Senegal, French Sudan, now Mali, French Guinea, now Guinea, Ivory Coast, Dahomey, now Benin, and Niger.
That's, again, the French. Wow. Look at that.
There had been no change, then Burkina Faso would not have existed as we know it. But as fate would have it, after the Second World War, the Mossi, who were the most populous group in the region, actively pressured the French for separate territorial status, and in 1947, Upper Volta became a French West African territory, again in its own right. A couple of years later, in 1958, the colony achieved self-governance as the Republic of Upper Volta within the French community. On August 5, 1960, it attained full independence from France, but it was not until 1984 when President Thomas Sankara, through a presidential decree, changed the course of history by changing the country's name to what it is today. Famously known as Africa's Che Guevara, Sankara chose the name Burkina Faso from different languages spoken in the country: the Moor or Morsi language and the Diola. Burkina from the Moor means upright or incorruptible, showing how the people are proud of their integrity, while Faso in Diola means fatherland, literally father's house. Thus, Burkina Faso is the land of upright people, or the land of honest men. The citizens of the country are known as the Burkinabe, where the suffix Be comes from the Fulfulde language spoken by the Fula people, a tribe found in many countries across West Africa, meaning men or women. So Sankara used 3 of the main languages in his country to choose a name that was truly representative of the country and its people. The new name had a certain ring to it that made it catch on. Sankara was then addressed as the PF, or President of the Faso, and the national cloth made up of woven strips of cotton or silk was referred to as Faso Danfani. Let us know in the comments if there's a country anywhere in the world with a
3 different languages or cultures in one name.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty unique.
Yep. I find it very interesting that even though they broke away from the French, that they kept teaching the children the French language as a main
official language. Togo, it's French. So yeah, that's going to be a theme.
Yeah,
for
because a lot of the provinces around them speak French.
Yeah, I mean they were not invaded, but they were colonized by the French. That graphic right here with all of the this was the whole French. What did they say? African Federation. Like that's a lot of land from that was
That was under French regime.
Why don't we ask Pamphile? I mean, he lived that. Pamphile, the language of Benin is French, right? Do you have any feelings about that, given that the French colonized your country and you kicked them out? Like, is there some resistance to using French?
No, finally we adopted French as our national.
We can't hear him. He's too far from you, Lou.
Oh, go ahead. He's turning his mic on.
Then I said, French actually was accepted as a national language, but we encourage all the community to use our local language as well as much as they can. That doesn't, because French has proven to be the language we use countrywide. So yeah, there's no resistance in using French, by the way.
And also English is like the international language throughout the world.
Hello. Yeah. And nowadays we are encouraging all the schools to incorporate English in their teaching programs. So yeah, from the nursery now, like they have been taught English.
Yeah. Pamphile, do you have a representative in the United Nations?
Yeah, we do have our embassy here. We have our embassy and some consulate here.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. You should try to visit Benin one day.
I would like to. Absolutely. Great. They have a day set aside for Americans to visit all of the embassies, and I'd like to do that. I have been to some of the embassies.
Well, Pamphile.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Pamphile, would you be able to schedule a visit with the Benin embassy while you're here?
Yeah, we chatted about it sometime last week.
I would love to do that. Yeah.
Well, we'll keep you posted. I'm not sure how realistic this is, but I'm going to talk to Pamphile
after this call is over and see if we can schedule a meeting and find out how, maybe we can invite others down there. We'll keep you posted.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for sharing. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pamphile. Yeah, don't forget to keep your mics in mind, everyone. So even Lou, you're both muted, okay? Because there was back and forth. So here's a video on time flies when you're having fun. But we have this quick video here on cashew processing for local economy, the local economy. So this is very recent as well.
Burkina Faso's latest bet is on its cashew industry. Efforts to utilize its abundant cashew apples are already underway. This new $11 million processing plant in particular is expected to create a new boom.
The idea for the plant came from the fact that Burkina produces nearly 2 million tons of cashew apples every year. And when you look at cashew nuts, there are two products, the cashew nut, which everyone knows is valued, and the cashew apple, where over 2 million 4-day counts are thrown away. So our mission is to transform 5,000 tons of cashew apples a year into a concentrate that can later be transformed into other products such as juice, wine, vinegar, and ethyl alcohol.
Authorities say the new plant will be creating hundreds of jobs. They also expect it to inject nearly $1 million annually into the local economy.
The idea of choosing the village of Penny is very strategic in terms of cashew nut supply. We are halfway between Bobomanfora and Odara, which are the main production areas. So we are going to set up collection cooperatives with women who will collect the nuts from the producers. The plant will therefore be ejecting more than 500 million francs a year to buy apples from producers.
The new plant opens just days after the lifting of an export ban on raw cashew nuts.
The suspension measure was aimed at supplying factories at the national level, and we were ready to supply the factories. Unfortunately, the factories told us they want organic cashew nuts.
Burkina Faso's government has expressed a clear priority to address domestic needs, and this new facility will be its latest gamble on the future, looking to transform a byproduct into a key player in the nation's economic landscape. Najma Abdirizak, CGTN.
Cashew apple processing plant. Any thoughts on that video?
Alex, I would encourage the viewers, if you have a moment, the process of creating a cashew nut is incredibly complex. It's you'd be stunned at all the effort that has to go into creating this one dumb little nut. So anyway, that's it.
Apple.
Yeah, cashew app. I've never heard. Never heard. I mean, that's amazing, right? The actual nut, but also the fruit they use to make wine and juice and vinegar, and it'll bring $1 million to the local economy. I mean, that's amazing, right?
Wow.
And they
Who
call
knew?
it cashew apple.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's a new fruit they made up.
Look at that. There it is.
But cashew, they don't originate like we think of most nuts do. It's really an unusual nut.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to love eating cashews.
That's why they're so expensive.
They are very expensive.
I still love eating that cashews.
So we have here a overview. So Lou, do you mind reading this for us? We have two links right here, and then we'll look at some pictures together.
I would be honored to, Alex. So in 2025, Burkina Faso is undergoing significant developments in infrastructure, agriculture, and digital connectivity, while also facing challenges related to security and humanitarian needs. The country is part of a regional infrastructure initiative with Mali and Niger, focusing on road, rail, and air transport to boost trade and economic integration. Burkina Faso is also implementing an agricultural development strategy to achieve food sovereignty by 2025, aiming to reduce food imports and support local farmers. Furthermore, the country is deploying 800 telecom towers to improve internet access and digital services, particularly in rural areas. Wow.
Yes.
World Bank Forum.
The World Bank is returning to Burkina Faso for a water and drought forum in September 2025, indicating a shift in engagement with global powers. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
I thought this was interesting just to look at what's going on as well. And then this simple overview, and then we have some pictures. So I hope this goes over everything, Lou. Would you like to read this as well?
I would love to. Located in West Africa, Burkina Faso was once named Upper Volta after the branches of the Volta River that flow through it. I can't read that. Is the capital.
Ouagadougou.
Ouagadougou is its local capital. Burkina Faso is surrounded by Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Togo, Benin, and Niger, Much of the land is flat. The climate is generally hot and dry, but there is a rainy season. The north part of the Sahel or semi-desert region. The south is a semi-tropical with wetlands and forests. Grasslands or desert covers much of the country. Sahel was a prickly shrub and small trees. Wildlife includes antelope, lions, elephants, buffaloes, hippos, monkeys, and crocodiles. Nearly half of the people belong to the Masi ethnic group, but others include Fulani, Lobi, Bobo, and Mandi. French is the official language, but most people speak More. About half the people are Muslim. The rest follow traditional religions or Christianity. More than 80% of the people live in small towns or villages. Most of the people are farmers. Sorghum, millet, corn, sugarcane, cotton, peanuts are the main crops. Farmers also raise goats, sheep, cattle, chickens. Businesses that serve the public manufacturing add to the economy. Manufacturers make sugar for cooking, oil, flour, beverages, and bicycles. What? The country also has deposits of gold and manganese. In the 1400s, Masi and Gurma people set up kingdoms in the area. In the late 1800s, France took control of the region. It created the colony of Upper Volta in 1919. Upper Volta was gained independence in 1960. Since then, the military has overthrown the elected government several times. In 1984, the government renamed the country Burkina Faso, which means land of incorruptible people. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, this with all the information we learned today, we fill in the kind of the holes. We know they said the government renamed it, but we know it was Sankara that did.
Yes.
So I like that. This is the flag of Burkina Faso. Again, this
Oh,
is a red with the star and that green. This is a picture. So Ouagadougou, it's dead in the center, the capital. That, is literally right here is that capital. But it's
yeah.
land. Remember they talked about the infrastructure and how it's landlocked? It's really surrounded by all these different countries. It's kind of in the middle.
Alex, I have a friend who was a foreign service officer, and she served in Burkina Faso. So I'm going to show off and send her some screenshots that I took and let her know that I'm thinking about her, although I haven't seen very much of her since she gave up that position of being a foreign service officer there. Her name was Sharon, and I'm going to send her a couple of my screenshots.
Oh, thank you for sharing. And better yet, make sure to send her that video when we upload it, okay?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, this is a village woman prepares a meal in Tibele, Burkina Faso. Most people Burkina Faso live in small villages. This is their national anthem right here. So we can play it in the back while we finish that for today. Y'all hear that, right?
Yes, we can hear it.
Take a look, Lou. Pretty is $1,000 round trip. That doesn't sound bad, right?
It's not so bad. Yeah, good job.
Look, it's a 13-hour
look at that
meal
layover in Casablanca. Oh boy. How
And,
long is the layover? 13 hours. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that fun? And it's just one stop. So it is look, 24 hours. Like these are day-long flights.
Sign me up.
But look, this one's 1,000. This one's 1,400. I mean, it's I would definitely take maybe the 1,000 versus that. But look at this. This one's Turkish.
What's Royal Air Maroc though? That I don't know about that airline. I've never heard of them before.
Me neither. That's pretty interesting. They got these other ones though. 2 stops. Wow, these are like 2 days. It could take you 2 days to get there. But that's not bad, right? Casablanca. That I would love to do that layover there.
Nice job.
And here are some pictures. So look, they have some street views available. So look, this is around the airport area.
That looks nice.
Around the airport area. This is the capital. If I zoom out, this is how big Burkina Faso is. pretty big, you know, when you take a look at it. But this is the capital right here. So look, even right here it says cathedral. So maybe if we can take a look at maybe some sites or something. Like what's right here? Let's take a look at this video or this.
Oh, nice.
Let me remove this.
It looks hot.
Hope Metro du Faso. Look at that. This is April 2017. Look, email, email, look at the phone number.
Oh, wow.
Let me zoom out. And Street View, if you go on Google Maps, so you can do a lot. This is what the capital looks like. You have the hotels right here. You have look, a military camp looks like on the side. What's down here? Pate dote. I don't wonder what that means. Look, that looks like a gas station. A Total. That says Total right here.
It does.
But this is what it would look like if you were in Burkina Faso. I know these are little, like, ooh, what's here? Monument of National Heroes. What's this?
I think we saw pictures of that.
Oh, look at
yeah.
Yeah, it's right there. Oh yeah, let me look on this side. Photos and videos. Oh look, wow. We saw that in the video. Look at the hands. I'm zooming in. That's amazing, right? Look at some other pictures. September 2022. There's the Sankara statue. Any thoughts? Any thoughts?
Yeah, very impressive, Alex.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he? He's real good.
Was that a rap group from Burkina?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you know, anyone. This is Google Maps, so anytime you can upload photos to any destination. You know, like at a restaurant, you can upload photos of the food. So you know, anyone, all those pictures were from Google users.
Alex, you too much, man. You too much, Alex.
I found that the flag looked similar. When I saw the flag, it looked similar to the Ghanan flag, which was red, black, and green, or green with yellow in it with a black star. Whereas this Faso flag is red over green with a star in the middle.
Yeah, there's so much in the world. Like, what's this? Restaurant Grande. So this is still Ouagadougou. I mean, it's beautiful. Look at that. This is school, apparently. Campus K4, there's a school over here. Wow.
I'm learning more and more about how France attempted to take over so many places. It's remarkable to me how they flexed their muscles and just came in and took over countries and changed their culture to them. It's remarkable how France did that.
I know, Mr. Ron. I'm you know, glad we're next week we'll be visiting another neighboring country of Benin, and you know, seeing how the French had their influence there, because unfortunately, as we've seen in West Africa, that's been the MO for these past few weeks. But as you can see, you know, people, if they have an idea, if they want change, they will make it happen. Even if it's just one person can make a lot of things happen.
You know, also one bug. I was thinking about what Ron was saying there, you know, but there's a big difference. You know, yeah, France and all those countries went into Africa, but they also left. And I was trying to wrap my mind over the last few minutes about that topic. And I wonder how much malaria had to do with Europeans not staying. You know what I mean? Like white people don't have a natural resistance to malaria. And, you know, that may be the secret sauce all these cultures got preserved, and ultimately the Europeans left.
It's a lot of history in the past even 100
That
years.
makes sense, Lou. That makes a lot of sense.
In 100 years, even so much is we are a part of history. I hope that you all leave with that today. We are part of history. You will learn about it, and it makes us more whole, in our point of view of the world. There's so much that goes on, and we're so blessed to have what we have. Well, Lou, Pamphil, any last thoughts or anything new that you learned? What do you think of today's session?
Well, Pamphil, I'm excited about you researching the Benin consulate, and maybe we can get a few people down there as well. Maybe some people on this call. No guarantee if anybody, but we'll check into it, right? Right, Pamphil?
Let's all say
of course,
much
Lou.
to Lou and Pamphil for
That would be
presenting
so exciting then.
today. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Pamphil. Have a wonderful
Thank
rest of
you.
your day. I'll see you all at 1:30
You
for
too,
our
Alex.
Hey, Lou.
Let's all
Thank
say
you,
thank you,
Lou.
Lou and
Thank
Pamphil,
you,
for our
Alex.
session
And
today.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
all enjoyed, learned something new.
It's very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you
We
so much.
appreciate that so much.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Good to see you again, Lou.
Yeah, you too, Ron. Good to see you too. You got that
Thank you.
amazing radio voice.
Thank you, Pamphil.
You got to get on TV or something.
Have a great day. See you soon, everyone.
Okay.
Bye, Alex.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Later, gang.